Episode 2. Welcome back to Rich Dad Poor Dad. If you're here, you've already made an important decision. You're no longer willing to live trapped by money. You're ready to understand how wealth is really built. In Episode 1, we uncovered the hidden traps, working for money instead of having money work for you, confusing liabilities with assets, missing the critical skill of financial literacy. Today, we take it further. In Episode 2, you'll discover two critical truths the rich understand and apply every day. First, why minding your own business, quietly building your own asset column is the path most people miss. Second, how the system through taxes and corporations can either crush your wealth or multiply it, depending on what you know. This episode isn't just about working harder, it's about working smarter, owning smarter, living smarter. Because building wealth isn't a game of chance, it's a game of knowledge. And today, you start learning the rules. Let's dive into Chapter 3, Mind Your Own Business. Picture this. You work 10, 20, 30 years, climbing the corporate ladder, paying your dues, chasing the next raise. And then one day you realize you don't own anything. No true assets, no freedom, no way out. You gave your life to build someone else's dream and forgot to build your own. In Chapter 3 of Rich Dad Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki gives a wake-up call. Mind your own business. It's not about quitting your job. It's about quietly, steadily building your own assets while others spend their lives building someone else's. Let's dive into one of the most powerful mindset shifts of all. The system teaches us work harder, earn more, buy nice things, climb higher. But Rich Dad taught Robert something different. The mistake most people make is they become slaves to money, instead of learning to have money work for them. And here's the key. Most people confuse their profession with their business. Being a doctor, a teacher, a lawyer, that's your profession. That's how you earn your paycheck. But your business is what you own. Your business is what builds wealth without needing your hours. If you only focus on your profession, you live paycheck to paycheck. If you mind your own business, you start building assets while the rest of the world sleeps. Assets like rental property, stocks, and bonds, intellectual property like books or courses, businesses you control, digital products that sell while you live your life imagined to neighbors. Both wake up early, both work hard all day, both earn decent salaries, but one spends evenings watching TV, scrolling online, shopping for new things to buy. The other spends 1 hour a night building a side business, learning about investing, buying dividend stocks instead of designer shoes, writing content that earns money in his sleep. 5 years later, one is still hustling paycheck to paycheck. The other is financially free, same hours in a day. Radically different outcomes because one minded his boss's business, the other minded his own. Real life example, common struggle and transformation. Meet Daniel. Daniel works a stable job in corporate marketing. He's paid well at $5,000 a year, but he feels trapped. His entire lifestyle depends on that paycheck. If the company closes, if he gets sick, if management changes, his entire financial world collapses. After reading Rich Dad Poor Dad, Daniel makes a decision. He starts a YouTube channel on digital marketing, tips, recording simple videos after work. At first, just a few viewers, then a few hundred, then thousands. He creates an online course for $99. He sells 5 courses one month, 10 the next, 20 after that. Within 2 years, Daniel's side business earns more than his salary. He still works, but now he owns. He still has a job, but now he has a business. Daniel didn't quit immediately. He didn't throw everything away. He minded his own business quietly, steadily, intelligently, and that made all the difference. Most people spend their best years enriching shareholders, CEOs, landlords, and government systems. They work hard, but they build nothing that's truly theirs. Minding your own business doesn't mean disrespecting your employer. It doesn't mean quitting recklessly. It means always investing in yourself first. It means always building something that is yours. A product, an asset, an investment, a brand, a piece of property, a piece of the future. If you don't mind your business, someone else's business will mind you. Key quote from book. Robert says, "The problem is not getting a job. The problem is sticking only to a job and forgetting to mind your own business." Your profession feeds you today. Your business frees you tomorrow. Never forget the difference. Let's summarize what you must take from this chapter. Your job is not your business. Your employer's goals are not your goals. Wealth comes from assets, not salaries. Build your asset. Call them quietly, consistently, fearlessly. Invest in what you control, not just what someone else pays you for. Minding your own business is not rebellion. It's protection, it's insurance, it's the doorway to freedom. You don't have to quit. You have to build. Before we move on, reflect deeply. Am I spending even 1 hour a week building my own future, or only someone else's? What small step can I take this month to create my first personal asset? If I lost my job tomorrow, what systems would still pay me? Freedom is not luck, it's preparation. And today, you just prepared. Chapter 4, The History of Taxes and the Power of Corporations. Imagine living in a system where no matter how hard you work, a piece of your earnings is taken first before you even touch it. Imagine playing a game where the rules are invisible, and the people who understand them win, while the rest struggle. Paycheck to paycheck. In Chapter 4 of Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki reveals one of the richest truths the school system never teaches. Understanding taxes and corporations is not optional, it's essential for building wealth, because wealth isn't just about how much you earn, it's about how much you keep and how much you protect. Let's dive deep. First, let's face a fact. Most people don't understand taxes. They think taxes were always part of life, that paying a third or half of their income is normal. But here's the truth, Robert uncovers. The idea of taxes was originally sold to the public as a way to tax only the rich. Ordinary citizens believed taxing the wealthy would benefit society, but once the system was built, it expanded. Soon, everyone paid. The middle class and the poor shouldered most of the burden. The rich, however, learned the rules. They used corporations as shields. They learned to own assets instead of only earning wages, and they legally reduced their tax burden. While others complained and paid picture to men, both earn $100,000 a year. The first is an employee. His paycheck is taxed before he even sees it. Maybe he takes home $70,000. Out of that, he pays for life, rent, car, food, dreams. The second owns a corporation. His business earns $100,000, but before paying taxes, he deducts expenses. Travel for work, office costs, marketing meals with clients, maybe after deductions. He shows only $40,000 in profit. That's what gets taxed. The business owner controlled his expenses before taxes. The employee paid taxes first and survived on what was left. Same income, radically different outcomes. One worked for money, the other worked for control. Real life. Practical example, common struggle and transformation. Let's meet Jennifer. Jennifer is a high-performing executive. She earns $120,000 a year. She's proud, hardworking, loyal. But every year, when tax season hits, she feels frustrated. She pays $30,000 or more in taxes without any real power to reduce it. After reading Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Jennifer changes course. She starts a consulting firm on the side. Even before quitting her job, she structures her earnings through a small business. Now, every client dinner, every software subscription, every travel expense linked to her consulting work is legally deductible before taxes. Within 3 years, Jennifer's consulting income surpasses her job income. But more importantly, she keeps more of what she earns. Jennifer didn't just earn differently, she learned differently. And that changed everything. Key short quote from the book, Robert says it simply, "The rich with corporations earn, spend, and then pay taxes. The poor and middle class earn, pay taxes, and then spend. This small order, this simple difference, is why the rich get richer." When you don't understand taxes, you're playing a game where you're always behind. When you don't understand corporations, you're exposed paying more, keeping less, growing slower. But when you learn, you take back control. Corporations are not evil. They are tools. Tools that protect assets. Tools that reduce liability. Tools that multiply wealth legally, intelligently, powerfully. The rich don't resent the system. They study it. They use it. They win with it, and so can you. Let's summarize the heart of this lesson. Taxes were created to tax the rich, but ended up burdening the middle class. Employees pay taxes before they spend. Business owners spend first, then pay taxes. Corporations are shields, protectors, wealth multipliers. Wealthy people don't complain about taxes, they structure smarter. You just have to learn the rules that no one taught you in school. Ask yourself honestly, am I earning my income in a way that leaves me exposed or protected? If I started a simple corporation or side business, how could that change my tax situation? Am I willing to study the rules instead of just surviving them? In the next episode, we'll enter the most powerful territory yet. You'll learn how the rich invent money through creativity, opportunity, and courage, and why working to learn skills instead of chasing paychecks is the real secret to unstoppable wealth. Subscribe, stay tuned, because the biggest breakthroughs are yet to come.